Hello everyone and welcome to another video capturing my run through the 2025 online War of the Ring tournament. I have a special bonus in this cast. In addition to this being the tiebreaker of round 2 or 3 depending on how you want to count, Michel has joined me for the cast of our game. Hello Michel.
Hello, everyone.
and confirm for me, am I saying that right, Michel?
Yeah, almost. It's just Michel.
Michel. Okay, Michel.
Yeah.
I'll try and keep it straight. Um, yeah, we got together this morning, or my morning, his afternoon, and we were able to knock out our game. Um, I won't spoil the winner, so you'll have to watch and see. Anything you want to say, Michel, before we begin?
No, all right. You can you can just start.
Okay. Opening hands, I had Kindred and an Ents. That was unfortunate because while Kindred's playable, it's not really a good card to start with, I would say. You had a decent one, Stormcrow, and on they went. It's nice to, you don't need the red tiles early, but at least it's a clear, you can play it and get it gone with a spare Palantir sometime.
Sure.
I'm just gonna go a little bit. Feel free to jump in whenever and wherever. So
Um,
you allocated 0 eyes. Any thoughts on that?
um, yeah, this discussion comes always. Should you allocate one or zero?
Mm-hmm.
And I think both both ways are a great start. So I make it depending on my starting character card,
Oh, that's interesting.
and um, there are some character cards that make me allocate eyes turn one, and on they went is not one of those.
Yeah, yeah. Can you give us any specific examples? Maybe like Ring Race
So,
Abroad, or maybe or something.
so most importantly, it's, for example, the Nazgul search,
Mm,
because it's nice to get the reveal on the first two steps,
right.
or Morgul wound or something like that, because if you have Morgul wound in your starting hands, you want to get a good use out of a Palantir die if you roll one.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Excellent. So you allocated 0, rolled 2. Thankfully, you have 2 musters, and I roll 2 characters, a will and a hybrid. So I have what I need to make an Aragorn turn 1 if I give you a ring, in
Yeah.
mirror of our previous game. Although this time, thankfully, I have the 2 tokens. I guess I didn't cover that. We did bid. Michel opened with the bid of 2 tokens, and I accepted. So, yeah, I stared at this for a little bit, not too long. I actually, between our last game and this game, did a practice game against someone where we preset the dice so they got Aragorn turn 1. And boys, he's scary. I just still feel like he's super scary for Shadow. But when I looked at this, I was more scared of you than I thought you would be of Aragorn.
Yeah.
So in the end, I decide to pass to begin with, because no matter what, you're just gonna put someone to war. Okay, great. Isengard's at war. Who could have seen this coming? And in the end, I decide to just move the Fellowship. So unfortunately, you roll a 6 and a 1 reveal off the top. So that kind of, as you say, should have gone for Aragorn. I
Yeah,
did
you
did
couldn't have known that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did I get a 1 reveal against you? I forget if it was a 1 or a 2 reveal.
Yes, yes, I decided it's the same. I decided to not get Aragorn and get hit on step one and reveal.
It's awful. And I thought about not taking Gandalf, but the scenario where you spend your other character hiding and then your will moving again, and I don't know, and I could prevent or you from getting Saruman this round because I have tokens, or force you to give me a round 1 Gandalf, which I assumed you weren't going to do. So
Of
I
course
just,
not.
yeah. So I went. We did have a little connection issue, and then I decided to kill Gandalf. So Nothing too crazy, other than my deep sadness. You move Barad-dûr to Gorgoroth and Dol Guldur towards Lorien. Yep, we're going to be having a bit of a race game. I spend my hybrid to hide so that I can get another move in. I think that was reasonable here rather than like putting the elves one down. Yeah, I don't think that extra move is particularly helpful at this moment, but might be an argument for that, I guess. You keep moving Gorgoroth to Moranen and to Dimmeril Dale, so you're you know showing that you're probably going towards Dewline and Lorien. I go ahead and move
Yeah.
again, and thankfully I'm safe. So, and your spare Palantir, I'm not even hiding in Rivendell to use Stormcrow, so a decent use of on they went, get it out, get it in play before it's too late. Before it's gumming up your hand. I of course want to force the issue, as I mentioned, about Saruman or Gandalf the White, so I use a token. I figure I'm going to use the muster token since that's the one that could matter early a lot more, and I put the elves down, hoping to get some guys in Woodland Realm at least. So.
I would not have done that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What would you have
You
done?
it's you don't know if you roll a Will of the West next turn or not, but I think statistically it's like Ira said, Gandalf is always expected 2 turns after this turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you are delaying a minion by 1 turn, which is -1 action die for me, and delaying Gandalf for statistically 1 turn, sure. So it's the same basically, but I would not spend token. If it has a good use for the token, like mastering the elves, okay, you can do it. It's totally reasonable. I'm just saying I would not have done that, but of course, you can do that. And if you roll no Will of the West next turn, that's the right decision. And you can't know what if you roll Will
Right.
of the
Yeah.
West next
Yeah.
turn or not.
That's
Um,
interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought
given,
about it that way.
I'm not even sure, but about what I just said. Given you have just another token to further delay both minions, it might be the right decision. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah.
A question for the ages. Comment in the post in the comments what you would have done, dear viewer.
Yeah.
So I put the.
If this
Yep.
was
Go
if
ahead.
this was turn 2, you are delaying not only Saruman for a round, but also the Witch King.
Yeah, and that's pretty
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, because the Witch King is expected turn 2, turn 3.
Right. Right. So you then, of course, don't give me a free Gandalf, and you just take two
Yeah,
useful moves. Get the North Dunland to Moria to get usefulness out of Saruman cards and Lorien, going towards the Dew line.
yeah,
Cool. I thought about moving again, but to move again to put me into Moria just was too dangerous at this point. So I moved the elves down with this. Only one away from war. Sauron is not at war. I have a decent chance of at least getting one of the places buffed up. So I was decently happy with that. And then I obviously pass on the token.
yeah,
We go into the next round. I get 2 useless cards, House of Stewards and Book of Mazarbul. I mean, an advantageous position is okay, but you get Balrog, which is quite good right here. So that's nice.
yeah,
And a Devilry of Orthanc. So that's excellent. I declare so the Nazgul Strike and Search don't work. And we go in, you allocate the one eye, and roll no musters, which is really handy for me. Unfortunately, you do have good uses for your Palantirs. And I have 2 wills, which is nice, but 2 Palantirs that I can't spend. None of these. I'm not going to play Kindred right now.
Yeah.
So stare at this for a bit, and then I pass. You draw a character card, and you're drawing a character just because those are more likely to be played with a Palantir right now, or I guess you're looking for like revealing things
And
to
it's
get me in Moria.
and given the situation, it's so there are so many character cards that are stronger than they are usually are.
Right, right, because of Moria.
Like Nazgul Search, Nazgul Strike, and the
Right, right. Unfortunately, you get Shelob, which is a good card, but not especially helpful here. You think for a bit and go ahead and play Shelob. Yeah, I mean, you've got another Palantir for the Balrog whenever's handy. So I ask you to stop, you don't. I draw a strategy card. I'm just digging for Power 2 Great, Thranduil, Celeborn's, King Brands. I figured those are going to be useful than basically anything in the character deck right now. Even just better defensive cards for the elves would be good.
yeah.
You consolidate. Yep. I draw again. I'm going to put myself over hand limit, but I have some pretty useless cards, so I'm willing to get rid of those. I get help unlooked for, which is not particularly helpful, but no quarter is okay. You keep moving north. I do want to keep moving the Fellowship against One Eye especially, so I move once. I'm safe. You put the Balrog in play. And I put the Elves to war so that next round I will be able to muster Lorien. You put Sauron to war. I have a decent shot of getting... I can put at least one in one of them, almost certainly. So I thought that worked out okay. And then you, of course, go to Northern Rovanian. So I could have moved twice, but I thought the guaranteed reinforcement to Elves was worth the non-move.
Yeah, by mastering the elves, you can even master two elites into the elves if you have the master dice.
Right, which
So that's the
would be
advantage.
really nice. And you get, I mentioned that you got Balrog. I pass on the token. So into the next round. Thankfully, you're still down on 7 dice. You draw Corsairs, so this is when you got Corsairs and Lure. So Corsairs is, of course, excellent to see somewhere around here, maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that.
I get Path of the Woses and Horn of Gondor. House of Stewards is not going to matter here, so I'm going to throw that. And then I think I throw the end. Yeah, I throw the end. I don't... Yeah, maybe I should have kept thrown the Sudden Strike or something, but I kept Horn of Gondor because I've lost Gandalf so early to a low one. I figured I might find a use for it. I'm not sure I strictly agree with that, but yeah, I've done it, especially with Balrog in
It's hard
play.
to tell.
Yeah, yeah. I choose to not declare into Moria because I'm not that much of an idiot. You put
Yeah.
One Eye and roll no more, but you get all the musters you could ever hope for, so that's good. I do get a will, so if you get your minions, I can get Gandalf. And I move with the Fellowship before you play any Nazgul Strike or Search or anything like that, and I'm safe. So I'm through Moria, sort of. You put
Yeah.
Sauron to war, and then I get my muster in Lorien. You put Lorien under, obviously. So a little bit not predefined, but the dice roll was really good for me because now I can recruit in Woodland Realm as well, and you have to
Yeah.
spend all your dice getting both of them under.
I thought you will move a third time this turn. You did not.
Oh, really?
Um, I thought you move a third time, and that's because I move everyone from Dimmeldale into Lorien.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Just because there'd be no reroll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I
I don't
pass.
remember what you did with that Will of the West.
Yeah, well, I pass because I'm gonna make you not get Saruman or give me Gandalf again. You draw a strategy card, you get Hill Trolls, which is pretty handy here. And I spend the token again to force you to make the decision. I draw Thranduil's archers, which is
Yeah.
excellent. So I think I throw Path here. Yeah. So I'm very
So
happy to
now
see
the
that.
minions are very late.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot
very.
that I spent one hybrid die for not getting Sauron to war, I think, and turn turn two I get no masters. So this is turn three, right?
Yep, yep. And still no minions.
So, yeah.
And you just
So
move.
in the end, it was right to delay the minions
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
one.
It worked out. And then so I have a will. I think about moving again. But what at this point I don't feel a Shadow is I would say on pace, but minus minions, so maybe a little slow. And I've got Thranduils. If I play it now, I draw a strategy card, then I draw a strategy card for turn, and my chance of getting Celeborns, Kingsbrands, and all of that power two great. If I can just keep you under, keep you slowed down at least at all. So I decide to not move again. I get Fearfire Foes, which a shield wall will be okay. You draw the ring as mine. Man, you're hot on those red tiles early. Ooh, and Shadows on the Misty Mountains. About one turn too late.
I
I get.
think I discarded that.
I was gonna say I don't remember that one coming out. I get Grey Company and Riders of Theoden, so Grey Company's going. And what was my other throw? I think my other throw was uh, Kindred.
Kindred, maybe?
Yeah, Kindred.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you're saying you throw Shadows here. Yeah.
No, no, no,
Oh
no, no.
no.
I throw the ring is
Oh, the
mine.
red tile. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh wow. Okay, well, I won't
Yeah.
say too much
I
about
think
that, but that mattered.
I already have two red tiles, and the power of the red tiles is depending on the non-red tiles on the mortar track,
Yep. Yep.
and
Very true.
because there are all the tiles still in,
Yeah, they're pretty weak
I
right now,
decided to throw that away and play the military game.
which makes tons of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of
Maybe
sense. No, no, I
I'm
think it's
just
great.
explaining my thoughts. Yeah,
No, no, I like it. So I of course declare through Moria so that I only take the Balrog hit if you want to spend it. I was a hair surprised you did spend it. Um,
and
for
spend what?
for the that you spent the Balrog for the tile draw rather than saving it to just hit Lorien.
Yeah,
I just because
I
it's
wouldn't
a
have
one
played it.
three.
Um, it's the best use out of the Balrog that you can have when the Fellowship declares through Moria. So you can maybe reveal you too
Yeah,
and get
that's true.
another tile out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the first game we played, I kept it in hand and not use it at all for the effect,
Yeah, you
but for
used it in
combat
battle. Yeah.
because Lorien was stronger than that. I think 8 hit points.
Yes, I'd put a regular into it. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah,
And also in this game, I do have the other cards to play in Lorien, like
Hill
Devilry, I
Trolls.
think.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Okay, and you have shadows, so maybe you can reinforce with shadows on the Misty Mountains at some point.
also that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And you draw three, which is scary. I think strongly about just taking it, but the Fellowship is as big as it's going to get, and I'd really like to not just take three. So I go with a random, and you hit the best one, Gimli. Legolas or Gimli being the best ones here.
Sure.
Um, so okay, I say Gimli decided to stay with Balin. Um, one eye allocated. You get more musters, 2 eyes rolled, so you're not moving too much this round. And I finally don't roll a Will of the West, so basically this round you're just going to get your minions.
Yeah.
I move before you can do something about it. I don't have any cards that need to be played right now. I am safe, thank goodness. You get the Witch King. You put him in Lorien. Any particular reason there over Woodland Realm?
Um, oh, I don't remember.
Okay,
Can
that's
you show
fine.
my hand, please?
Oh yeah, sorry. Uh, Maybe you just want to
I
cycle Denethor's Folly and Stormcrow.
probably that, but it's in hindsight, I think it's better to put him in Woodland Realm. Also because Woodland Realm has 4 leadership instead of 3,
Right.
if you put him there.
I guess
Um,
the other benefit
I
of it.
think Woodland Realm is the default, and in this case, I think it would have been better to put him up in the
The,
Woodland Realm.
the other argument, I guess, is if you hit Lorien, you might get it down before Power 2 Great or Celeborn's.
Oh yes, you played Strandriel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta get it while the getting's good. So, okay. Witch King comes in, activates everybody. I go ahead and play Horn of Gondor. I have a Palantir. I don't need to play any of these other cards for their effect. So, nothing too crazy there. You muster in Saruman. I move again, because why not? And this time you hit me. It's a 0 reveal, so I'll take that. Obviously, like a 2 into Legolas would have been fine too, but can't ask for too much. You think here for a bit, and you move Easterlings. You have Corsairs, so of course you're prepping for that. That makes sense.
Yes.
And then I hide with the last die. Yeah, what was I going to do? Muster in Grey Havens? Yeah, no, hiding's best. And you attack Lorien. I assume just to cycle, get these cards gone before you overdraw.
Yes.
Strategy card versus strategy card. Thankfully, my advantageous position cancels your devilry, and you get 2 hits. So, okay, I get 1 back. I choose to just take an Elven Elite. I have 2 strongholds, Elven strongholds in play where the reducing to the regulars might matter, and I decided that I was going to do it in Woodland Realm. But now that I say that out loud, that's a stupid statement. I could do it in Lorien, you kill Lorien, then I do it in Woodland Realm anyway, so I don't know why I did that.
It's minor.
Yeah.
There are reasons.
You get a Swarm of Bats / Shadows Moving. Actually, both of those pretty handy right now. You press with a strategy card. I do a strategy card. It's Great Host versus Daylight, so I was very excited that this... And this was a fairly tenuous Daylight, or a Great Host, rather. Unfortunately, you're very good at rolling 6s, so you get 2 hits. I get only 1 back, so Great Host is gonna hit. So I continue, and so I choose to keep being efficient with my casualties. You were gonna have to stop anyway, so in the end, it probably didn't make that much of a difference. Maybe I'm 1 hit up from where I would be, but not that much.
Yes.
We go into the next round. I draw File and Danes. I'm, of course, super excited to see Danes. So that's good. And you get Wormtongue and Horde from the East. Actually, Horde from the East has a couple good options. Obviously, Deadly Strife's excellent, but maybe you play it for its effect. Pretty loaded hand here.
What would you discard?
Well, I was just thinking about it. Yeah, normally I would say definitely Wormtongue, but now that I think about it, Lorien is handled. 7 regulars almost certainly takes it. So you don't really need Shadows on the Misty Mountains anymore unless you really want an onslaught. And Wormtongue's a good cycling card if you want to cycle characters.
I thought the same, yes.
Yeah, so okay.
Onslaught could be used in Lorien,
Right.
but I also want to keep if I can, keep the hit points of my army in Lorien.
Right, if you have an option to swing to Rohan.
Yes.
So we agree, you discard Shadows and Shadows in the Misty Mountains, you allocate the 1 eye. You're finally up to a normal Shadow player amount of dice. You roll no more, and I get Gandalf. So my Will of the West have been pretty on point. And thankfully for me, you only have 3 movement showing. So while you have a bunch of musters, and that could be sad, you're still a little slow right now.
I do have Corsairs, though.
That's true, and that is, of course, very sad for me. I comment that putting Gandalf in Woodland Realm would be funny and bad, and I agree with both of those statements still. I go ahead and move before you can get on top of me with anything. You hit a 6 anyway, and it's a 1-eye. So, okay, Horn of Gondor did its job, and I'm revealed. You put Southrons to war, force me to, or at least indicate that I should use my will, and I'm going to get Gandalf. That's categorically the best option here. Unfortunately, my hand is now kind of played out. I've moved once and been revealed. The one muster's almost certainly not going to do anything, so hide and move again is probably good a play as I'm ever going to see. Puts me in Mordor next round almost certainly. So my decisions are a little tight here. You choose to Corsairs right away. Yep, my dice are awful for preventing anything, and now is a good time to get it all done. You don't leave anyone behind because why in the world would you? I hide. You hit Lorien, and you do use a deadly strife here, so you just want to make absolutely certain we're done here, which I think that makes sense. The horde from the east probably isn't necessary, so, and you have some spare musters, so you can just make stuff there if you want. My shield wall is a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
desperate,
I was just making sure I take that in one action die.
right?
It's a
Which, go
strong
ahead.
card, but I'm cycling into something else, so I just use it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you barely get it. Even with a deadly strife, you barely get the 3 hits versus my shield wall you need.
Right.
And I get one more, so close. You draw into a Monsters Roused, which is, a good desperate battle. I move, and you miss. So I suggest that you take the Shire. For some strange reason, you don't accept my suggestion. So what were your thoughts at this point?
So my thoughts were I need 4 strongholds and 2 cities. So Erebor is my fourth stronghold in this case.
Yep.
What else? If I'm not going for Erebor, it's maybe
Helm's Deep?
Helm's Deep.
Yeah. So you have 2 musters. It's basically do you spend them in Isengard or spend them in North Rune, right?
Yeah, I spent the masters in North Rune. I could have gone for Helm's Deep too. Um,
But it feels
it's
like
also hard to tell.
yeah, but it feels like splitting to go to Helm's Deep. Like you already have everything prepped to hit the full dew line. You have whatever is left
Yes,
after
yes.
Woodland Realm falls. So yeah, you move Nazgul, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's
But
also
go ahead.
also because I do have the Palantir die. What am I playing with that?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah, you have shadows moving. So yeah, that makes a lot of
yes.
sense. You can be pretty darn efficient
So I
with that.
went for the do line because of the shadow is moving,
That makes
and,
sense.
because I'm going for that, I want to take Tol Amroth before I play Shadow is moving
Right.
to also move them to Lamadon.
Makes sense. You burn a strategy card. The desperate battle is obviously pretty efficient here. You get your hits. I get one back, but nothing too crazy. You draw into Rage of the Dunlendings. Not super useful here, but good to get it out of the deck. Muster 2 elites in North Rune, and then as you say, Shadows moving. So you have pretty scary armies. The Dew Line's looking in a lot of trouble. You do Gorgroth to Minas Morgul. Yeah, on the absolute off chance you pivot to Minas Tirith. That's about the only other thing. The only other thing that would maybe even really make sense is Lorien to Parth Celebrant.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think I should have done that. Lorien to Pascal Brand.
I offer for you to.
But it did make worse mistakes this game.
Well, we'll see. I draw into There Is Another Way, which may be a hair early, but I'm very happy to see it. And Swords and Ariador, so a good defensive card. Not my preferred one, but I would have preferred King Brand's Men, but we'll take it. You draw the other red tile, so you've got all 4 red tiles drawn, 1 discarded. That's
Yes.
kind of crazy. And another swarm of bats, so that's actually really handy for you. I haven't got a scouts yet, so not that it would matter a whole ton. So, yep, okay, in we go. I'm finally at 5 dice, so that's nice. I declare over 1 step, and 1 eye allocated, 2 eyes rolled. So, decent number of eyes, but I roll a near guaranteed Mordor this turn, which is nice. Um, so, yeah, I go ahead and spend the will to reinforce Lasarnach and Pelargir. I have 3 moves, which is enough to get to the Black Gate, or get to Mordor rather, and do a bonus move if I'm revealed or something like that. So I figured I'd make it so that the Southron army couldn't put Minas Tirith under without. Make it a little harder. Make you have to spend full movements to do it, and the likelihood that I could retreat someone in be at least a little stronger. I'm not sure that was
Yes.
really the best move, but I think it's not terrible given my dice rolls.
You're mastering in how's it called? Lamedon or Losanach?
Lost Arnach,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
That makes sense. Sure.
maybe the other one should have been a leader in Minas Tirith rather than a regular in Pelargir, but
Yeah.
eh.
So, as I said, I already am focused on Erebor.
Right. So
So these are my 4 strongholds,
yeah,
but still mastering in Losanach makes sense.
you attack, you cycle, foul stench makes sense. You fortunately for me you get only 1 hit. Unfortunately for you, only get 1 hit. I get 1 back, so I retreat. So okay, nice. A mini defensive line to make Minas Tirith unlikely, but you get Black Captain commands, which is obviously excellent for you here.
Sure.
I move because that's what I got to do. I'm safe. You play Hill Trolls. Yep, because you've got a better use for the Palantir with Black Captains. Cool. I move again, and thank goodness you hit. Um, so I don't have to worry about cruel weather. Um, it's a 1 eye, so I just take the corruption. I think about which direction to go, and I decide to go into the Black Gate because I decided it was funnier. Um, and I'm revealed, and I hit a 3, so I'm going to take a random here, and it's Mary. And then we both immediately are like, wait a minute, I should have been in Minas Morgul, so the Hobbit could be in the Athelians, but oh well.
It didn't make any difference, right?
It didn't make any difference. The games where that makes the difference are very small, but I'm of course sad to not lose
What's
a.
the difference? If the Hobbit is in North Ithilien, you can play Gwahir to.
Well,
It makes no difference, right?
I'm mostly thinking like if Osgiliath retreats to North Ithilien, now you have a leadership with it or something like, and then you can throw a day and a night to the Black Gate or something like that. But
That's right. Yeah.
it didn't matter. Obviously, I'm a little sad to get a Hobbit. I would rather take a captain here, but that's all right. You spend your black captains, which makes sense. Hitting Woodland Realm. Yep. Stack everybody together. Let's get this done. And I'm actually, not glad that you're attacking Woodland Realm, but I have a decent hand, and I'm willing to use a guard charge here. So I'm excited for my 3 pre-roll, but of course you Swarm of Bats it into non-existence, which makes me sad. And you roll 2 hits, which is a good start. I get 2 hits back, so good start. I reduce the elites, obviously. You press. You draw into, wow, another Deadly Strife. That's pretty good. Although you've been digging real hard, so to get all 3 Deadly Strifes by now is reasonable. You strategy card versus strategy card, and thankfully my advantageous does soften the blow a little bit from the Deadly Strife. So you only get 3 hits, which decently lucky for me. And then I only get 3 hits back, which is decently lucky for you. But you still have way plenty to press me down. No card. I do spend a no quarter. I'm just looking to take every single hit I can off you. You kill me, but I do get all 3. So the 2 plus the 1 for no quarter. And we grab that. There we go.
Yeah, as you said, I'm good at rolling 6s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and I kept checking. I was like, man, he feels like he's getting so many sixes, but you were basically even on sixes. It's just you were getting them when you needed them.
Okay.
And as long as when you needed them doesn't refer to the hunt most of the time. So you've taken Woodland Realm. We're at 5. You're at 5 points as I hit, or excuse me, 7 points as I hit Mordor. I'm feeling very sad. You attack Dale with the 3 regulars, which is safe enough. You cycle a card. You cycle lure. Yeah, you're so far ahead militarily. Let's just win this thing. You get your hit on the reroll. We note that you've done the reroll a certain way. Cool,
Yeah.
fine. I was sad because I
But
really wanted to retreat into Erebor and then have Danes, but
but I did get that hit because of Lord of the Ring.
yeah, yeah. So it was a very good play. Lidless Eye is useless as always. Not not strictly true, but I have a move and a Palantir. I figure I'm going to put File in before I go so that I can move and have a chance at it the whole way up the mountain. I don't need to play Danes until Erebor is under siege. So if I hide now, I'll get to see what you do, and then I can respond accordingly. You stack up in Dale, which makes sense, and move Parth Celebrant south. Cool. The other half move was almost certainly not going to matter. So since I know you can't attack Erebor before I have a chance at it, I go ahead and put File in. Uh,
Yeah.
and and then you attack Iron Hills. I was a little confused by this. Can you explain what you were doing here?
I was debating to play the red tile. If you show my hand,
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
well, um I decided to not play the red tile because I think in this situation I am favored to win. If you
But
just look at the board,
oh yeah, by
I
a
got
lot.
eight victory points, and I just take Erebor because you can't dunk in one turn, right?
Right,
So I
right.
don't play the red tile, and um,
But why not just attack
the,
Erebor?
the one thing about the red tiles is you either are lucky and draw them or you don't. So either they are super strong or they are doing nothing.
Right, right.
And sometimes you are behind as the shadow player. I think um, the only way I can win is a miracle. So I just play Shelob, not because it's good, but because I need the miracle. But given the situation, I think I'm favored to win. So I don't rely so much on being lucky with the red tiles.
That makes a ton of
And
sense.
but maybe your question was, why do I attack the Iron Hills instead of Erebor?
Yeah,
That's Um, I could attack Erebor and take it, and then you muster Iron Hills, and that makes it a little messy.
I guess my thought
So,
was if you attack Iron Hills and get super unlucky, I retreat to Erebor, as opposed to
or you
you
have
attack.
scouts maybe.
Yeah, or scouts.
It,
But if you
it
attack
was
Erebor, then you're guaranteed to get them under, and then you just attack Iron Hills the next round anyway.
yes, but if I attack Iron Hills and then besiege Erebor, I bring all the hit points into Erebor,
That's true. You
and
save the one regular
so
that would be sitting in Iron
yes,
Hills.
that brings one more regular into the stronghold.
That's true. That's true. And you get to
But if
cycle.
I besiege Erebor first and then take the Iron Hills, I have to regular.
Yeah, yeah, valid, valid.
So, so
And you
that's the
do
reason.
get to cycle this way, so that's nice. Get rid of lidless eye. You get your hits. I get nothing.
Also, yeah.
So yep. You draw foul thing, which is pretty good. The pool. It's unfortunate the eyes are going back in. Otherwise, it would have been a great tile for right now. But oh woe is the shadow player's life. You know.
Yeah,
I thankfully am drawing hot on character cards. I get Mithril Coat. Through a day and night's not going to matter, but Confusion's pretty good. You get Palantir and New Powers Rising, so mostly a great host. Um, yeah,
that's for Great Host, yeah.
yep, pretty good there. That's the hunt pool. So 2 reds, 1 blue. Only 4 tiles are out. Thankfully, 2 of them are threes. But pretty scary hunt pool. I'm feeling at this point I'm pretty despairing. I'm like, well, yep, Shadow wins. Okay, cool. I'll play it out. One eye allocated.
You do have Dane.
I do have Dane, so I'm praying, and I have There's Another Way and Mithril Coat, so maybe one eye
Yeah,
allocated. Three eyes rolled is good. Keeps you down to just three actions, just three attacks. So that's good. And I roll plenty of movement. I am of course going to have to move against four eyes, but I do it because I got to do it now. Again, here's the hunt pool, and then I like a lucky duck draw file. So that's excellent for me.
that helps. Yes.
You of course hit Erebor. Dwarves are at war, and then I spend a muster to put Dane into play. So hopefully the dwarves can hold. I need a full round, and I need this round to go pretty well. You put the red tile in. That makes sense. The Palantir wasn't going to be used for a whole lot else.
Right.
I move again, and it's a Shelob. A Shelob 6, no less. Ugh. So I get the best tile, and you get the best tile. Seems fair. Um, although the I one, I guess, would have been a 5 reveal here, which might have been better even. But so I take Strider, three
Yeah.
hits.
But Shiloh just makes corruption a thing again.
Right, right. And with Foul Thing in hand, maybe. Yeah, I say blah. I was actually feeling like maybe I have a shot at this, but you attack Erebor, strategy card versus strategy card. I'm burning my confusion. I don't. That's the only thing I have. You have a great host. You get no hits, thankfully, and Dane gets 2 back plus 1 from confusion. So that's the best I could ever hope for. You take casualties specifically so that the great host hits, which makes sense. And stop. Yep. You get another great host.
That turns things a little.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then I make the only move I have. I can force you. So I move Karak to Old Forest Road and Edoras to Westimnet. The Westimnet moves almost certainly doesn't matter, but I now threaten taking Dale, which we double checked this. If the North is not at war, they may still retake Dale as long as there's no units in it. So I'm able to threaten that. You use many kings. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure you even had. You could have, I guess, played the foul thing with that, but maybe you don't even feel the need to right now. And all four eyes are still in the pile, so the chance of hurting yourself there is kind of high.
Yeah, not that much. Like if corruption really becomes a thing, I can play foul thing later maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, you and the great host was going to be a little dubious in Erebor anyway. So get some guys you can reinforce. Cool. We check the retaking Dale, and so I get to buy a round. Because you can either take Erebor if you get lucky, or retake Dale if you get normal amounts lucky.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then you attack Dale. You strategy card cycle. Yep, get Relentless Assault gone. You don't need that right now. You'd get your one hit barely. Makes me sad I don't get to like retake Iron Hills from that guy or something. But you hit. I get one more back, which, and as I say here, is kind of 2 because now you have to spend a guy to take Dale.
Yes.
And now Erebor's
So
like
this was
actually not a. It's a little tight now.
I have too few hit points in Erebor to reliably take it now. So attacking Dale at this point was maybe my biggest mistake in that game. Somehow I thought the North is at war, or I had this in mind because you
Took Dale.
you took it back.
Yeah, yeah.
But it makes absolutely no sense to attack Dale at this point. I can wait for you to muster the North and then I attack Dale.
Make me spend the
This
die.
way,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I just lost 2 hit points in Erebor now.
So that
So
was that
that was
was
just a stupid move.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you're going to be at almost max dice. You didn't get the mouth because it looked like you could just win or near enough.
It's also that, and yeah, maybe I should have gotten the mouth. I just felt too confident to take my hit points
Well, and I have to make
next round.
4 moves against 2 red eyes and a bunch of reveals. Like, ugh. So you're still way ahead. And you draw into musterings, which is a desperate battle, so that'll actually be super helpful. And we're into round 8. Oof. My good luck dries up on character cards. I draw a wizard staff and a scouts, so both of those are absolute useless. I guess scouts hyper abstractly in the Fords or Lasarnath as Gileath, but it's not going to matter. You get candles and King is revealed, so another relentless. North is at war, right? Cool. 1 eye allocated, 1 eye rolled, and I don't get very much movement. However, I do look at this. So obviously, first move is I got to spend the will. Yeah, we talk about whether you take Danes a bit. I got to move, and because I don't know you've discarded a red tile, you might have drawn the fourth red tile, as far as I'm concerned, and all the normal reasons to
Yes,
move.
yes.
I move and I get a 2, which is perfect. Best tile. I efficiently spend Boromir. And I'm looking at this. If I move again with the character die, move again with an Elven Ring on the muster, I can, there's another way, maybe, to dunk this round. It's on the outside chance, but it's a
Can you show the
possibility.
hand pool, please?
Yeah. So if I hit like a 3 on the first move, or like a 2 and a 1 or something, get me down to Gollum, and then I hit non-eyes and non-reds, I have this hyper like low chance to dunk this round because I
It
have
could
there's another
happen,
way.
yes.
But so that's my that's I'm like, oh, that's my only hope. So that's why I don't try and do anything with Karok, which would have been maybe my only other play. You attack Erebor with card. I tell Erebor Dane that he needs to hold. You I was a little surprised to see Palantir go by and not get played, but as you say, if you just win the military game, then that's all you need.
It's just super late to play that, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that makes sense.
I
You
I
get
have
one
two
hit.
penalty dice, okay, so I could cycle 2 cards or 2 event cards by playing
Yeah,
them. Uh,
which would be Foul Thing and Candles, but like, is that
yeah,
even worth it? So just win the military game. You only get one hit though, which is really nice for me. I get 2 back. The dwarves are continuing to hold, and you draw into Isildur's, so more corruption, which makes sense. You've used a lot of the combat cards out of the character deck. I move again
yeah.
because that's my one shot at victory. I hit an eye, so thankfully it's a 3, so it's efficient, but unfortunately that toasts it. I can't dunk this round.
Yeah. At this point, I thought I don't have enough dice to reinforce and win this turn, so I go for the corruption strategy.
Right. And so Foul Thing, draw a tile, just don't draw an eye, and you succeed at not drawing an eye. So I take the corruption. We talk because I can't even reveal because I'm already revealed. I was trying to remember whether I could use Gollum. I play There Is Another Way because I'm scared of cards that will be playable if I am revealed, like Morgul Wound and stuff like that. So I hide with it. You play Isildur's Bane and draw 3. Thank goodness it's not a reveal.
Yeah, that was still super lucky by me.
Yeah, and another 3. So now corruption's like really a problem. We check that I can't use Gollum again. Not that I'm not sure I would, but I was considering it. You get the mouth. That makes sense with that muster. You put him in Minas Morgul. Yep, Dol Guldur wasn't going to do anything. It's at least a little close, which is nice. You consolidate to reinforce Erebor. Cool. I reinforce Minas Tirith. I have nothing better to do with the die. I could make a guy in Karok, I guess, on the off chance I retake Dale again. But meh. You move guys, cool. I make some guys in Gondor. I was thinking like, maybe there's this like hyper off chance I move everybody to Osgiliath and retake Pelargir. Uh, that
You could happen, yes.
yeah, I have enough to make it like actually a chance. So, and then you Candles of Corpses. Yep, this much corruption. The 1C wasn't really going to do much for you. Unfortunately, you barely miss, so no effect. Whew. Okay, another round. I didn't think I'd have two more rounds 2 rounds ago, so that's nice. I get a blue tile, so I have Mithril Coat that I haven't had time to play, which in retrospect I probably should have spent a ring last round to play that rather than mustering in Gondor. That was not going to be useful.
I forgot you had that card
Yeah,
all the time.
probably should have done that. And you weren't.
Yeah, two more red tiles, right?
And you have 2 red tiles in, 3 eyes. So I probably should have Mithril Coated last round. You draw into Morgul Wound, which, yep, that's a good card, and a Desperate Battle. So it's actually a tight game. 1 eye allocated, 1 eye roll. I'll take it. So 2 eyes kill me, but not much worse than that. And I get a roll for dunking. So
Yeah. You did the whole game. You did not use any.
Elven Rings.
So yeah, that would have been nice for me to have an Elven Ring to put more dice into the hunt box.
Oh yeah, that's true. If I had played Mithril Coat, you could have put an eye in. That's a thought. And again,
Yes.
because I don't know you've discarded a red, I'm assuming I have to worry about the reds. So I move. Oh no, I don't. Oh yeah, okay. Because I have enough to dunk, and I have enough to survive 1 red tile or 1 reveal,
Yes.
and so Mithril Coat, I think, makes sense to play first here.
Also, the red tiles might kill you anyways.
Right.
So you just play the Mithril Code and then move, hide, move with your character dice. That's
Yeah, and
that's the
and it
plan then.
allows me to soak corruption with Gollum. So yeah, you draw a character card looking for, I don't know what all's left, but looking for anything. You get dreadful spells. I move, which makes sense. I hit an eye. It's a 2 reveal. I gotta take it. I can't hope for better. You play Morgul Wound, so I'm at 11.
Yeah.
I hide just in case you have any of the other things that do things I didn't even bother to count. I quote
And
Gandalf.
can you show the hunt pool again,
Yeah,
please?
yeah. So, well, here we'll do it in just a quick sec. Here, you move out with armies. That doesn't really matter, and I pass. You draw a one with Sora and Toil. I put Smeagol's in, and then you move to consolidate on Erebor, and so now I'm looking at like, okay, this is. Oh, I didn't put Smeagol's in. I put it in the wrong pile. I put it in used.
Did you?
Yeah, it's in used. I didn't put it in the hunt pool.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Whoops. Well, so
So
the
that
ones,
was
the ones
that
in this,
mistake was to my favor then.
yeah. I'm not too worried about it.
It's too bad.
But the
And
ones
we
and the
can
zero,
comment on that later.
yeah. The
Let's
ones
first
in
see the outcome of the game and then talk about
okay,
the
okay.
Smeagol.
So yep, we talk about it. They are. You flip the mouth. I'm just gonna force you to take Erebor so that you force me to move now rather than I tease about scouts into Dale because I have 2 scouts cards now. You cycle. You get 1 hit. I get 1 back. You press. You draw into Phlox. You use a Desperate Battle. You get 2 hits. I get 1 back. So Erebor holds another round. I'm now worried that you've drawn character cards and you might have something that's bad. So I spend the ring. Here's the hunt pool. So the ones and the 0 win. If anything else, I get a second try with Mithril Coat. I spend Galadriel's ring.
So there goes the drum roll.
Yeah. There's 2. So that would be a kill. So now I have a 3 out of 8,
Yes.
and it's a 1 reveal. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So I'm able to reveal with Gollum and dunk at 11 corruption after having put Smeagol Helps Nice Master in the wrong pile. Whoa, man.
Yes. If I won this game, we should have played the end again, I think.
Yeah, redraw the last couple tiles. That would have made sense, I
Yes.
think.
Yes.
Because if that was in the pool, let's just put that back for a sec.
Yeah. So congratulations to you,
Well, thank you very much. It was
and
a
good
tight
luck in the
game.
tournament.
I'm excited to
So
move past the first round for the first time ever. So
yeah,
second already into the third round. So
you just kicked me out of the tournament at this
woo.
point. So
Not woo at your
I really
sadness.
wish you good luck now.
And as you can see here, I'm super excited. But yeah, if that tile had been in, I had pretty. I think I had something like, because it was a 4 out of 9 followed by a 4 out of 8. So something like, so call it a half and then a half. So I had a 25% chance to win at the end there.
So maybe yes,
Math's
little
hard.
less.
Math's hard. Well, any other comments? I
But
want to
you,
say, as usual, you were an excellent opponent. I want to thank you for jumping in the cast with me. It's been super fun to get you in on the fun here.
yeah, for me too. Thanks. I think you played this quite well.
Thank you.
Um, for example, the turn one delaying my minions did turn out quite well.
That ended up working out very well. You were what, round 4 before you got both of them,
I got two minions turn four.
and that ended up eating most of
That's
your turn. So that worked out okay.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I think I played a lot of mistakes in the last few rounds. The worst being attacking Dale, I think.
I don't
And I
I don't
played
think that helped. Yeah.
at one point in the video. I said I am favored to win. You
Oh
remember?
yeah, absolutely. Right
So
when I'm
I
hitting Mordor, I think you were hyper favored to win.
yeah I played too confident. I think I didn't even get the Mouth of Sauron or put
Well,
more reptiles.
I think for 2 rounds you only rolled like one muster, maybe one a turn. So getting him was always, and not very many moves, because
Yes,
you rolled a bunch of Palantirs in the last 2 rounds. So I think you were
yeah,
forced to decide between, well, I'll take my pretty reasonable chance that I just win right now. Oh shoot, it didn't
yes.
go. Oh shoot, it didn't go, kind of thing.
Also, last turn I could have gone for the win with the Woodland Ram units instead of this turn. I don't know the odds in Dale.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I mean I don't know the odds when I try
a 2 versus 1, but you're
to take
rolling on
Erebor.
sixes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean you're half as likely to hit on the first round, but you have twice as many hit points. Of course, that has a chance to go absolutely sideways. Like if you hit nothing, if you hit nothing and I hit 1, then you've wasted the die and nothing happened.
Yeah. Uh, anyway, I think you praised me a lot in the other videos. And I don't think I'm as strong as you think I am.
uh, I thank you, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good game, and so thank you all for watching, and I will continue as long as my opponents are okay with it. I will continue to cast my games, and as I go through the tournament, it'll probably be a couple weeks before I find my next opponent. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for Michel for joining me, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.